Hey YouTube, Mike the Alpha Hoarder here. If you don't know me, I hoard and collect Alpha Magic the Gathering cards. There is an open debate about whether or not I've lost my mind, but while the people in the white coats sort that out, I'm down here proving them wrong by recording myself, talking to myself about cardboard. So, in my first video, I mentioned that the goal of this channel was to document my collection, as well as share it. And that is what today's video is about. So today, we are going to peek inside the Hoard. We're going to look at some old cards, reminisce together, and hopefully you enjoy it. So here I've got a binder for each color, but today we're going to look at this one. So in a previous video, I shared my full set. I'll link to that in the description if you are interested. I love my full set. It makes me very happy. It literally transports me to a place in my life where I had something that I loved that was holding the world at bay. And I fall into those memories, and it's more than just cards. I think maybe some of you will know what I'm talking about, or maybe I'm just completely insane. I think those of you who are parents may have discovered this in parenting as well, but there is this blind spot that grows inside each of us. It's a sort of fog that blurs out the way the world used to be the first time we experienced it, before the weight of social pressure and life pressure and work pressure, responsibilities, the scars and wounds of existing for decades on this planet. There's something in these cards that transport me to a childhood headspace, and honestly, it just makes the world fresh again. And that's why I look at these binders all the time. And that master binder, I'm very honored, very proud, very fortunate to have been able to assemble that. But one complete set does not constitute a hoard. This, on the other hand, is definitely part of the hoard. And as much as I love my master binders, I think I look at these even more. And I'll open these and I'll get lost for 20, 30, 40 minutes. I'll keep this video shorter, but just giving a little bit of preface here so that I don't come off quite as insane as I'm worried this video will make me look. But in any case, I've got a lot of cards in different places, and these particular binders showcase one of my favorite parts, and it's a part of the collection that I've been working on most recently, and I'm not quite finished with it, but I am almost done. So this is in progress. So we shall get started. This was inspired by a dealer that I work with, actually. When I was starting to get more cards, he shared a picture with me of one of his biggest customers. The gentleman had a 4x3 binder, and what he decided to do was give an entire page to each card in the set, every card. There's a time vault page, and then a time walk page, and then a time twister page, everything. Absolutely amazing. And I just found it so captivating, but it's not something I can replicate. 12 of every rare, that's outside my financial reach. I was just way too late to the hobby to do something like that, but this I could do. So this entire binder is commons. And we'll start with white with the lands. So I bookcase each side with a land. There are 2 treatments of each land in Alpha. The plains are probably my least favorite, but the only difference here is this one has little trees in it. So that is how I begin. And let's go into it. Banalish Hero. Banalish Hero. You can tell me how you pronounce it. Classic Doug Schuler art. He is just great for these little hero showcases. Those soft, sort of distinct colors, smooth gradients in the color. He does Sarah Angel, Righteousness, Unholy Strength, Northern Paladin, Psionic Blast, a bunch of them. But here we have a 1/1, 1 drop for a 1/1 with banding. Banding was a cool ability. No longer around. It's fallen out of favor with Wizards. I actually can't remember exactly how it works, but basically a creature with banding can group with other banding creatures as well as one that doesn't band, and they attack as a band, and they have to be blocked as a band, and it changes the dynamics of combat a bit and gives the attacker an advantage because they can sort of choose how damage goes about. But very, very cool card. Circle of Protection Blue. I love these. The circles are just chronically underappreciated. You know, there's commons, there's 4 of them because black was missing. And so for whatever reason, or I think for that reason, they just don't get the love they should get. But, you know, I've said it before, just because it's called a common doesn't make it common. You know, there were 16,000 of each common printed. And if my estimates from earlier videos are right, you know, maybe 1,500 are around in good condition today. And a bunch of those are in collections like mine that are never going to reappear. So why is this card so cheap? Great place to start if you're trying to get a little bit of alpha. Same here, green. The art's really fascinating. Some kind of rune, and it's pressed into, I don't know if, I think it's supposed to be a tree, but it looks more like stone. Circle of Protection red. My favorite of the circles. The coloring is just awesome in the white frame. This is the most expensive of the circles, and I'm told from viewers of the channel that it's because this is more playable, I guess, you know, perhaps. Yeah, I always say it, I'm not a player, but I know red decks to be sort of fast and aggressive, so maybe having protection is more useful there, I don't know. But the art is just awesome. I mean, this dude is just walking through a firestorm, and his skin is molten, but his hair just looks great, untouched. Love that page. COP white with the rune theme again. The least interesting art for me. It's Schuler again. Yeah, it's Schuler again. I really think he's better for the sort of character heroes, but you know, fine art. Just I find it a little boring compared to the others, at least. Death Ward. An instant, 1 to regenerate target creature. This is the only ward that's common. Black ward, green ward, those are all uncommons. So, and you know, I don't know, it seems pretty useful to me. Regenerate is another cool mechanic that just sort of fell by the wayside. I believe the way it's oracled is if you regenerate a creature, you basically put a counter on that creature that lasts until the end of the current turn. And if the creature would die or be destroyed while it has this counter on it, then it just isn't. It doesn't leave the battlefield, so there's no triggers. It doesn't lose its equipment or enchantments or anything like that. Seems like a super useful ability, but again, I don't play. I just hoard. Disenchant. This card highlights the effect of playability on a card's price. Disenchant is sort of on a level with, say, Sinkhole. The next level up is probably like Land of War Elves, Dark Ritual, Fireball. Then you got Lightning Bolt even higher than that. But the playable cards are priced where I think most commons should be priced. But this one is definitely more expensive. More expensive for a common. We got 2 for an instant that destroys an enchantment or an artifact. Pretty self-explanatory and pretty useful, you know. I even have an enchantment deck, and, you know, what do I know about this game? Cool art, Amy Weber. Again, I love the way it looks on the whole page. Just beautiful. Guardian Angel. Awesome coloring. The red wings, the yellow background, the white frame. I just love it. I can't really articulate it. This video is probably not going to play back so well, but I really just love it. Healing Salve by Frazier, Dan Frazier. Pretty iconic artist. He uses this this red swirly background, he does the sort of swirly effect on a bunch of cards, Resurrection, Mox Jet, and Ruby. But this red specifically, if you have it handy, pull up Sacrifice or Berserk or Disrupting Scepter. It's exactly the same, this sort of red blurry background. And he connects cards like that sometimes. You know, I don't know if it's just something he does with his art or if there's sort of a subtext to it. In this case, it's almost like a metaphor for pain. You know, this is healing damage. Sacrifice is, you know, killing a creature. Berserk is like seeing red and going nuts and killing things. Disrupting Scepter mills you, so I guess it's sort of like a form of damage to the player. But again, like the Circle of Protection red, just so beautiful the way the white frames it. I just can't get enough. Love that card. And another cheap one, you know, Bulk. People are catching on, you know, now-ish, but this card is still too cheap in my humble opinion. Holy Armor, Melissa Benson, beautiful art. I love the detail. Look at his armor. Jewels and spikes and scales. Gotta be hard to turn his head though. Probably gets stuck in every doorway he goes through, but I guess put on the helmet once you're outside kind of thing. Holy Strength. Just like the circles, this card just doesn't get any love. Not my favorite art, but it is cool. 1 to give a creature +1/+2, you know, not that exciting. It's often available just too cheap. Let's see. Mesa Pegasus. Another Melissa Benson. So this is like our Benelish hero that was 1 for 1/1 with banding. Well, for an extra 1 colorless, we now have flying. And you know, the flavor text on some of these is just strange. You know, it's cool. There's little snippets of world building all over the place. And you know, I never read the stories. There are a bunch of books around some of the Magic sets, but I don't know. It creates a cool little glimpse into the fantasy world. But I love the art. I love the interpretation of the planes. Cool card. Pearled Unicorn. Again, the sort of orange to yellow framed in the white. I just love it. Although I will admit to you, I'll deny it if you tell anybody, for the longest time I thought Pearled Unicorn and Mesa Pegasus were the same. I don't know why. I just never realized it was 2 different cards. You know, before I was real familiar with the set, I just kind of, oh yeah, the one with the horse. But nope. This card, it's got the flavor text, but this one's a good one just to demonstrate how resistant they were to big creatures. So, you know, we cost 1 more than our Mesa Pegasus now, 2 and 1. We've lost all the abilities, and in return for the extra cost and losing the abilities, we only get an extra 1/1. And you know, that's just the way it was. That's why the big creatures are so iconic. You know, you want an 8/8 with trample? Fine. He's gonna punch you in the nuts every turn if you don't pay, you know, what is it, 4 green or something. But it's just the way it was. And let's see what's next. Samite Healer. Another cool one. The art is very detailed. All the stuff that he's got. I really like it. Nothing special here. Right on theme with white. But again, a card that is just not appreciated enough. There's a bunch in white in particular that, you know, you can pick these up in near mint condition for as cheap as $35 sometimes. You know, that is getting harder, I think, even since I started this channel, but I'm still getting them now and then for that price range, and it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's it. That is it, yes. And then we close on the other land, which looks the same again, except for the trees. And there you have it. So this portion of my hoard represents 18 commons, white commons sets. And like I said, I just love it. I just get lost in there. In other videos we can dive into some of the other binders, but that's it for today. More on the documenting side and the sharing side than anything else. No particular rant to go with it. But hopefully you enjoyed. Appreciate you joining me as always. Thanks for watching today's video. If you liked it and you want to help the channel out, then you could write a petition to Netflix and ask them to make it into a documentary. See you next time.